I'm going to use my slope, which is 1/3, and I'm going to multiply it by x, and I'm going to add it to b, and then it's going to equal what the y is. So 1/3 times 3 is 1, and if you multiply it in the calculator, it'll show you that it's 1. So very quickly I will show you. So 1/3 times 3, oops, still came out to be 1. So how do I get b by itself? I have to subtract the 1 to both sides. This goes to 0. So you're left with b equals -3. So since b is -3, now I have my equation. Y equals 1/3 x minus 3. And this is something that you can check in the calculator. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1/3 x minus 3, and I want the point 3, -2 to be in the calculator. So 3, -2, it's there, so I know I did it correctly. Okay, next problem. So this one wants an equation that best describes the relationship between the corresponding x and y values. So if you're wanting an equation, if you're wanting an equation and you're given points, you should know this is stat. So there is a poster on the wall that says stat, and it shows you the keys that you're supposed to use to enter stat, but we're going to go over it on here. So I'm just going to type over the numbers that are already there, and I'm going to delete the one that I don't need. So -4, 1, 3, 11, and 6. And if all else fails, you could always clear your memory. So stat over 4. And you're going to get this weird decimal. Nope. What did I do? 12, 3, 6, 9, 0, -4, 1. It should be 16. Okay, so I messed up. I'm going to go ahead and start that over again. You're going to get a weird decimal. So I'm going to write that decimal down, and then I'm going to show you how to turn that into a fraction. So I don't think we've talked about this. Your answer choices on your test will be, or there will be answer choices on your test. You can always make the fractions into decimals to see which one matches. But since we don't have that option, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in -1.6, and I'm going to keep typing 6 until I see a little arrow pop up right here. See that little arrow popped up? And if you want, you can put the 7. Then I'm going to press math, enter. So there's my my fraction form. And if you want, I'm just showing you how you can go back and forth. So in order to go from a decimal, a repeating decimal, you need that arrow to pop up. So this is just really -5/3. So now I can write the equation. Y equals -5/3 x plus 16. And there's your answer. Alright. Number 3, you're going to have a whole bunch of answer choices on your test that give you your equations in standard form. This is standard form when x and y are on the same side. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to say, you're going to write it twice. and you're going to cancel out one of the variables with its coefficient or with the number in front of it. So I'm going to cross out the x on this one, and I'm going to divide by -4. So when I do that, I'm going to leave this in decimal form because it's easier to graph a decimal than it is a fraction in this case. So I have -1.5. So y is equal to -1.5. So I'm going to go to 1.5 on the y-axis, negative, and I'm going to plot my point. So that's my y-axis. So my x-intercept, since I crossed out the x on the first one, I'm going to cross out the y, divide by 3 to both sides, and x is equal to 2. So there's 2, connect the 2 dots, and you're done. So again on this, you're going to want to write this equation that you're given twice and solve for y and then x, or you could have solved for x and then y. You just need to make sure you solve for both. Okay, number 4. So Kristen is ordering t-shirts for her family. There is a shipping fee of $10 for each order. And write the equation to find the total cost C of an order of t-shirts T for Kristen. Okay, so some key information. No matter how many shirts she gets, she's going to be charged $10. So we're going to say that she's ordering just for the first time, and we have one order, which is $10. So we're talking about just for one order. And then we say that that the t-shirts are $16 each. So on this problem, we're going to add 16T to it because each shirt costs $16. Well, that is our cost. So it may have it rewritten to where the T is first. So it could be one or the other. It's the same exact problem, just written different. And you may want to write your T's like this so that you don't think they're plus signs. Okay, number 5. So on this problem, we want to write this in slope-intercept form. And we want it to be parallel to this equation. So, and it goes through the point 4, -2. So I know those numbers will go there. And since I know that this is parallel, then I know that this slope remains the same. So since it's parallel, I know that it's going to stay 1/2. And I'm going to put the rest of that so that I can solve for B. So here's 4. When I multiply these two numbers, I get -2. To get B by itself, I have to add by 2. So on this one, the Z goes away. I'm sorry, the 2 goes away, zeroes out. So B is equal to 0. So now we write that equation. Y equals -1/2 x, and I don't have to put plus 0 because it's understood. So just like before, I'm going to check my answer. It's always good to check because, we're human. We make errors. Okay, so I'm going to go to second graph, and I want the point 4, -2 to be in there. 4, -2, I'm good to go. So I'm good. Alright, number 6. So write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that is perpendicular to the equation, or to y equals 3/4 x plus 1/2, and passes through 3, 6. Okay, so this time we will need perpendicular. Here's the slope currently. So in order for it to be perpendicular, these two numbers will switch and the sign will change. So since this is a positive 3/4, then the perpendicular slope is a negative 4/3. And that's the slope that we'll use. So we have our x, which is 3, our y, which is 6, and now we're going to plug in the rest of the information that we know. X is 3 plus b, and it needs to equal 6. So I'm going to show you this one in the calculator because you guys may get a little bit confused with the fraction. So we have a negative 4/3 times 3. So this is negative 4. So negative 4 plus b is equal to 6. So to get b by itself, I have to add 4 to both sides. So this will zero out, and b equals 10. So our equation is y equals negative 3/4 x plus 10. And again, there's nothing wrong with checking. So this is negative 4/3 x plus 10. And I need the 0.36 to be there. 36, it's there. I did it right. Good to go. Okay. So this one is going to be a little tricky if you do not draw a picture. So you have the problem that says, what is an equation of the line that is perpendicular to the x-axis and has an x-intercept of 10.5. So the first thing I'm going to deal with is drawing out the fact that I have an x-intercept. Well, as you guys should know, an intercept is where it touches either the x or y axis. Since it says x-intercept, that means it's going to touch the x-axis at 10.5. Well, I need a line that's perpendicular to that. Well, perpendicular, if I draw a line that goes this way, that means the x and y or the x-axis is perpendicular. If I were to draw it this way, it would be parallel. Since I need it to be perpendicular, that means I need this to go up and down like this. And this was a little hint. Which one of these do we need? Hoi vux. Well, since this is a vertical line, that means I need the vux, which means I need x equals, well, what does x equal? 10.5. And there's your answer. Okay, number 8. So you have to write an equation in point-slope form. This will not be on your test, but you'll have a formula chart. So you can look on your formula chart and this will be on there. So you have, it passes through this point and it has this slope. So this is x1, y1, and this is your m. So all you're going to do is plug in the numbers where they belong. Now I don't know if y'all remember because it's been a while. We take the opposite number of what this is. Because technically if I do minus a negative 7, because it is a minus sign, technically that's a negative. So you have two negatives. A negative negative creates the plus sign. So that's why we just take the opposite of it. Our slope is 1/3 or 3/2 x. And then we take the opposite. So this is just -1. And that's your answer. That's point-slope formula or point-slope form. And again, that is on your formula chart, so you do not have to memorize it. Okay?